To another Zenler FBH, so Facebook help. Okay, so in these little workshops that we're doing, I'm actually answering questions live from the group, and this is really good. So sometimes I'll be kind of experimenting, so it's a little bit more informal than Ask Zenlers. It's kind of helping you as an individual and maybe helping other people as well. So we got a great question in. It's from Riina, Laine. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. But because it's two I's in the R-I-I-N-A, so Riina. So Riina, you tell me if I'm saying it right. So is there a way to edit the blog font type? It's not applying in my brand font now. Yeah, at the moment we've just got it so that it works on your site branding font itself. I think Rakesh has mentioned this in there. So we'll have a look at that. The next question is the post description below the green text. By the way, the green, red, blue text, that can all be changed in color. I'll be showing you that as well in a second. Is automatically added to the beginning of the blog post. Is there a way not to show it in the blog post on the actual post itself? So it's just a summary. So like an excerpt that you would expect inside of a WordPress site or something like that. So how do I add two images next to each other, i.e. two columns in a row? So two columns in a row. Okay, so with that you could just place the image in and then just do a space and then just place another image in. That would work. The other one is you could right and left align it. We're going to have a look at that as well. So I'm going to jump straight into my blog and we're going to have a play around and see if we can achieve your end result. Sample blog posts in here. These blog posts were created when I did a post on blogs in the Complete Guide to Zenler workshop. So this blog here is the one we're going to play around with. Now as you can see, I've removed this text and it's really easy to do. I'm going to show you in a second how you can do that. So let's look how we can remove this text from here. So jump into your site, go to your site and down to blogs, and we're going to tackle this one here. I'm just going to click on it and we're going to go straight in. So this is question number 2 from Riina. So what you can do is you can just take this post description and you can just cut it out. You can hit update, and what's going to happen now is it won't show that text in there, or you could add different text in there if you want to as a different insert. So now if I hit this refresh, this is not going to appear here. See, gone. Okay, so that answers one question. So of course you could put whatever you like in that. By the way, when you do hit the update, it takes you to the settings page. So this is the page for SEO. Okay, so it's not the same. You can change it, but you can also put something different in here as well. Okay, so I think that answers that question. I'm going to put that back for now and hit update, and so it'll appear back. So the next question was your font types and branding. So if we go to our site settings, we can set the font. So actually, just before I move on, I do kind of realize what you mean about this part here. And if I go into the post, it shows in there. So the only alternative to not having that show is not to have it on the actual blog page. So in the blog page itself, where you've got this text, you'll have to take that text out because it goes into that text goes into here, and it also goes into the top of the blog post. So lots of people, I don't show excerpts, lots of people don't. This is something we are working on. This is the first phase of blogs, so we'll probably change this and make it so that we can turn it off. But where you've got that at the moment, inside there, the only option that we do have for that not to show twice is to hit that post update there, click update, and then inside here, if we refresh it, we're not going to see that anymore because it's not there. But it means that in your blog post itself, it's not going to show. So that's the only solution that I can think of at the moment for this, as we have no settings inside the page itself under blog settings. So we go to blog settings here, and you go to that page post, which is where the post is, and we edit that page. We have no options in there to be able to turn off or on the excerpt inside the actual blog post itself. So that's a partial answer to you. Hopefully that's clear. Now you've raised that issue, it's really good, because that's something that we can absolutely try to sort out for you. So if I hit settings, yeah, I've got no options to be able to turn those things off. Alright, so partially answered the question there. So we're going to move on now to the next question, and that was about the actual font type that's displaying within the post pages themselves here. Okay, so to do that we need to go into the site brandings itself, and you need to change those because they are set by the font family that you have actually picked. So if I choose my heading font here and I make it something a little bit crazy, pick something like Spicy Rice. Let's take the body font here. I've got Source Sand Pros. I'm going to make it Spirex. Click Save. And now if we come in here and we refresh this, then all of this is going to change based on that. Okay, so that's a weird text we've got in there for that one. Okay, so this is phase 1 of blogs, so there are some little tinkering things that we'll sort out in due course. Okay, so Riina's last question was how to put images side by side. Well, using the WYSIWYG editor, we can put tables in there, but the tables leave borders. I always prefer just to actually put my images into one image and then just put them in there, and it works quite effectively. As we've got the WYSIWYG editor, we are limited on what we can do, but you can be quite creative with it by creating these kind of things. So you could make this yourself, and I'm going to show you how. So first method we're going to look at is Canva. Second method we're going to use Pixlr, which is a full digital editing program and is the one that I suggest you do use, because once you start using it, it's really easy and it's a bit quicker and more it's got more things than Canva, which is basically just a flat page layout kind of thing, like a bit like PowerPoint. You know, not very good for doing these kind of digital things very quickly. Programs like digital imaging editing programs like Photoshop or Pixlr, which is an online version that's pretty similar to Photoshop, you can do these really quick. There's lots of programs you can use to do digital manipulation. You use things like GIMP. I think you've got Coral and all these. I tend to use Photoshop myself because I just have a membership with Adobe Creative Suite, so I can use all their products. But Pixlr is the closest I've seen to using Photoshop, and it's all online, so you don't need to load anything onto your machine. I don't work for Pixlr. I don't do any stuff for them. I just located a program that I think will be good for you guys. So let's do it anyway. So we got our images on page, and basically you've got to view them at the size you want to view them. And I know that I want to make sure that my image size when I export out is at least sort of like 1250 or even 2000 pixels across, because when I bring it in the system it will resize it anyway. You can resize it down. So let's go jump into Canva now and have a look at this. So okay guys, I'm in Canva, so I'm going to go and create a design. I'm going to go and set a custom size down here. I'm going to say for the width of it I want 1250, and I'm going to say the height I'm going to put in round about 400. Okay, and so that's the width in pixels and that's the height in pixels, and I'm going to click create design. Okay, so this is going to give us a blank template to work with. So now I can click upload, and I can go and upload some media from my desktop using upload media. I've got some here, so I'm just going to put these in, and we're just going to resize this so it fits nicely in here. So I'm going to just sort of crop it, and this is where you can't, the control on it isn't as good as things like Photoshop, but it still gives us a good result. So I'm going to leave a little gap between them, and I'm going to say that's a really nice image there. I've finished with that, so I'm going to click the download. I'm going to go and choose JPEG format, and I'm going to leave the quality on 80 and the size at 1, so it's 100%, 12 by 400. You might not have these options if you're not using the full version of Canva. If you're using the free version, you might not have a lot of these options, but I'm going to click download now, and that will download into my download folder. I will save that on my desktop, and then I can open it. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to my downloads. I've got my little download here, and I'm going to grab that, which is in my folder. So I've got two monitors, so I've got it there. So I'm just going to relabel this and call it, for the sake of this, I'll just call it all Zs, so it's easy for me to find. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to drag it to my desktop. Okay, so let's go into the blog editor now. Let's go into our blog and put our image in. And it's going to be as simple as dropping the image in. So I'm going to do a carriage return here. I'm going to go and grab that image. I'm going to select image. I'm going to choose it from my, upload it from my desktop. So there's my image there, and I'm going to click open. And that's going to drop straight in there like that. I'm going to say yes, I'm very happy with that. Or you can resize it by clicking it and just dragging these in. Once I'm happy with this, I'm going to click update. Once I've clicked update, that will be in there. So it's in there. So let's go and have a view of our post now. So here we go. Here's our post. We've got our lovely image in there. So next thing to show you is on Pixlr. So we're going to go to pixlr.com. Okay, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to Pixlr's version E, which is the one I like to use. And I'm going to go straight in and create a new canvas. So I'm going to go into create new on the left hand side, and I'm going to set pretty much the same settings as I had on the other version. So I'm going to put something like 400 in here and something like 1250 in here, and I'm going to click create. Oh, I've done it wrong. Let's go and edit this. Let's go to canvas size, and let's do we got them around the wrong way. So that's right, not a problem. Come in here and let's go. I'm going to set this on 450 actually, and we'll click apply. So there we go, we got this. So it's showing checker marks in here because this is a transparent background. So I'm going to fill it. Down here you've got these color swatches you can pick. I'm going to pick a white, and I'm going to go into the paint bucket here. So you can swap these colors around, by the way. Paint bucket, fill, drop it in there. Now it's white. So I'm now going to bring my images in. I'm going to go to file, and I'm going to go to open images. So now I can go and select the images like so, and I'm going to go and select a few different images here. I'm going to select these two. So I notice how I've clicked these. I click that, and then I hold the control, and that allows me to open multiple images. And I'm going to click open, and they will appear in new tabs. Notice the original, we can jump between the different images. So I've got to get this image into here. So I'm going to go onto this image. I'm going to go select all. I'm going to go to copy, edit, copy. I'm going to jump into untitled, and I'm going to go edit, paste, and then it will paste in here. There it is. Right, so now I'm going to zoom out, control minus. Let's just zoom out a little bit here, and we can go into the move tool, and you're going to notice down here that you can move this down. You can just drag this down and get it into position. So I can do it something like that, maybe center it there. Lovely. Let's jump to the other one now, which is this one. I'm going to do exactly the same. Select all, edit, copy, jump back into here and paste it in. Paste. And you're going to notice that it will create a new layer for that piece as well. And again, you can resize these down. So I can get all these lovely and nice in here. You know, if you want to as well, you can bring them down to the absolute size by going into here and just kind of getting them right in here. So you've got this real lovely control. You can also use the arrows to come up a little bit as well, which is a nice little feature. So you got those little arrows where you can just bring it in to get it perfect, and that looks pretty nice to me. So if I wanted it like that, that's how I could have it. So I could also select here and press the shift to select both of them, and then I can do them both at the same time. So let's do that, get maximum size. Then I'm going to now go into the crop tool, and I'm going to crop these down. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a space around them. Notice that one's a little bit higher that side. It's alright, we can correct that in a second. And I'm going to now select another tool, and that's done that. And now I just want to get rid of that very top bit. So I'm using this little marquee tool, and I'm going to come down to the right layer, which is this one. Notice in here that you can turn these off so that you can't see them. So you can have them visible, turned off or on. So I'm going to go across here, and I just need to take a little bit off the top here. So I'm just going to hit the backspace. Oh, sorry, the backspace on that layer, and then I've just deleted that area out, so it's exactly lined up. Now I need to get this image out, really easy. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go down to Save. And when Save comes up, I'm going to use JPEG. I'm going to label it. Instead of Z, we'll call it all the X's this time. And I'm going to save it on a medium quality so that the file size reduces. Notice the file size will go up as you start going to low, medium, and you can also drag this as well if you wanted to. So medium's absolutely fine. I've named the file name all X's. It's JPEG type, and I'm going to click download. So now what that will do is that will open up in Photoshop for me. So I need to close that down, and I'm just going to go to my downloads folder. You're going to see the new file in here. So now I've got that, I'm going to drop that on my desktop. I'm going to jump back into this now, and I'm going to put this new image in here. So I'm going to go down one, I'm going to go to image, and I'm going to choose that image, upload that image, sorry, from my desktop. So let's go and find it. There it is, all the X's. I'm going to click open, and that's going to drop in there like that. So now I'm going to just update this, and we're going to look at our blog page, and it will be perfect. There we go. So that's how we can create side-by-side images in there that also resize nicely as well on different devices. So hopefully that's helped you out, Riina, and that's how to do it inside of your blog post on Zenler.